What's up, everybody? Give me just a second. This is Breaking the Cage, Astrology TV. Just trying to get my other phone working real fast so I can post it out. And then we're going to get in with tonight's stuff. As soon as my phone will stop acting up. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. Huh. Interesting. Give me just a second. Get it set out really, really, really fast. But of course, you know, Mercury just came out of retrograde, right? So all the electronics are acting ape shit. Yeah. Mercury just came out of retrograde and everything is acting a little bit ape shit. Give me just a second. No. Okay, I lied, more than a second, but you know what I mean. More options. Let me share this so I can move on with my day. Thank you. Oh, share it already. Do the thing. What? What is going on? Hey, anybody who's seeing me in the comments right now, before I move on, tell me, is like my camera going in and out? Like, did you lose sight of me? Because before I get into it, I need to know if I need to start over. I don't know why. For me, it keeps seeming to go black. And I'm trying to find out, validate for sure. Let me jump back here into actually the Matrix Minds. And let me make sure if I see any other comments coming up that maybe isn't coming up right here. I didn't go black. I didn't disappear, Amy. Like I said, right now it's doing it again. What in the heck? What the heck? What? Maybe I'm just going to have to try to keep an eye on it. It's weird as shit. I've never had that problem ever. Top comments. See, it's not even showing me comments over here. All right, if I have a problem and it passes out, then we'll just come back on, I guess. And I'll just keep an eye on it because I don't know why, but it keeps showing me the picture going dark and like I got to tap on it because I do all this from my phone. So I don't know what to tell you. I've been doing it this way for years and never had a problem until tonight, of course. So I'm just going to show you the weirdness. Like I said, Mercury just came out of retrograde, and that's everything electronic related and so forth, anything communication related. So that's where it was kind of it's gone back into a shadow energy. But when Mercury takes those energies and goes from one direction to another, it tends to make the electronics go haywire a little bit more. It's also dealing with those radio blackouts that you hear about. See, it's doing it right now. We'll remove from stream. No, I don't want to remove from stream. Oh, no, I don't know. I'll just keep an eye on it. Sorry. Anyway, so this is Mercury retrograde. I mean, listen to me. Mercury retrograde is over, but see, now is it? Because this is for May 15th through the 21st. But from the messages I'm getting from Spirit, damn it, from the messages I'm getting from Spirit, you're going to feel a little bit of a funky Mercury retrograde energy, even though Mercury is no longer in retrograde. It's a way of helping people understand what that energy is going to be for the next 6 months. I mean, we just went through the eclipses. Now, remember, you have this is the eclipse where we just went through, where it was in between the shifting of the energies. And what I mean is the North Node and the South Node is basically they speak to you where the eclipses are. But when they shift their signs, so you had one that was in where the eclipses, the north node and south node, is about to move. And damn it, if it won't keep doing that. And then the other one is where it's been for the last year. So it's in a transition of part of what you've been going through for the last year and what you're about to approach for the next year. Now, with that being said, that's looking at you having energy going from one eclipse energy to another, even though this week is a new moon in Taurus, and that has a lot to do with everything. But it's not just a new moon for right now. It's dealing with the coming off that eclipses and what we're looking at for the next 6 months on top of it. And last week I was saying, Spirit was giving me like, Alice in Wonderland, the Tea Party. But I've been saying a lot of us also, this is a lot of, Babylon falling in the energy from our society and what we're looking at. And what Spirit is explaining to me is to use this week with the energy as promiscurity, lust, desire, and just how much of a hoe are you? Or how much of a hoe will you be? Now, let me put it to you this way. It's helping us find the consciousness of this negative part of ourselves and what we definitely have to change. I'm going to explain it better with the astrology in a minute, but the way Spirit is giving it to me is, let's look at it from the dumb perspective. And I mean like small, no big deal is the way that we think. And what I mean by that is, like, some people have to have their coffee every single day. Like, how much of a hoe would you be for your coffee? I mean, what would you do for your coffee every day? I need that coffee. The world cannot continue if I did not get my daily coffee. Or for those people who smoke, if I did not get my cigarette, how much of a hoe will you be? Now, that's on a smaller perspective. But when we start looking at it from a bigger perspective of what's important, now I'm going to start hitting beneath the belt. This is saying, for people who are still married for reasons, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to throw it out there. If you're still married, specifically for the reason of insurance, how much of a hoe are you going to be for this? This is where you're selling yourself out for lust. See, lust is not just about sex. It's a desire. It's a need of what we feel on a three-dimensional level of what we need and what we're holding on to, what we must have. And this is what they're getting at. This has a lot to do with this south node moving. And it's with the south node that's going to be moving in the next, I think, month or two, as well as the fact that you got Pluto, which is now in retrograde, and Aquarius. Like I've been saying, it hasn't been here for like 250 years. Taking us back to like that Boston Tea Party, the Sons of Liberty energy. If I still am fading in and out, I don't know why. I do apologize. I'm having an issue with my phone as I'm making the recording. So if you're noticing there's a problem, please let me know. I am trying to check the comments. But what I'm saying is this energy is speaking to us about, like that bit of Pluto moving here into Aquarius, but he's only going to be here until June 11th? And then he's going back to Capricorn, where he's been for 30 years. Let me help you to understand. You are about to have a whammy of some form. Maybe a big whammy hitting you beneath the belt. It may just be something like, smack you upside your head, get your head on right. But I'm talking about the next 6 months. You've been looking at things slowly coming into that Pluto, moving into that Aquarius energy, coming into us looking at things from a new perspective, a new idea. It's like a light bulb was turned on. But as of June 11th, it's going back to Capricorn. That light bulb is going to get turned right back off. And it's going back to what it's known all of your life for the last 30 years. And where it's been trying to teach its lesson. It is only going to have until the end of the year to get that lesson, that last chance across to you before it comes back here into Aquarius and starts over. So this is about going, like I said, Spirit is going with the South Node. This is also, the South Node is in Sagittarius. The South Node is everything that you're good at, but it doesn't serve you anymore. It's the way we've seen society all of our life, the way that We were taught to believe relationships had to be the right, proper way, which we know is not the proper way. We put up with shit we should never put up with in relationships. We continue to stick by people who don't stick by us. We continue to love people in a lower vibration of what love really is, because we're hoping for this better idea, because that's what we were taught. We're learning to be bigger and better, spiritually soulful, more bright. And this is where we're coming into this next 6-month period. This is that South Node and Sagittarius, which is about to move out. Technically, when we think of it like in the blueprint, we think of Sagittarius being, part of that root chakra, but truthfully, it is considered part of the thighs and the hips. So this, I'm getting into what because everybody I talk to is going on and on and on about how their legs are killing them, and I'm giving you the smackdown on it. This is the South Node, everything you're good at, everything you lust for. What are you having problems getting? Lust is not just sex. Lust is, I need my coffee every day. I can't go on without it. Promiscurity. What will you sell yourself for? I need that daily cup of coffee, before my life can go on, da, 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 da. Where is it? Is it the relationship that you're in because you still have to have insurance instead of getting it yourself? Getting a job? I'm just using that as an example. What is it that you will sell yourself for? Lust and desire. But it's not serving you. It doesn't actually help you grow. It's keeping you complacent. It's keeping you in that place of comfort zone. That's the South Node, moving out of life, death, and rebirth, regeneration. And it's coming through the hips and the thighs because it's about to jump into the knees. So it's Pluto coming from the calves and from the ankles, Aquarius, and it's going back into the knees. So your entire legs, there's no reason why they shouldn't be hurting. Okay? And this is all talking about the lower ego chakras of where we're me first, of where, well, if I don't look out for me, nobody freaking else will. This is inferiority, inflexibility. Hold on one second. Let me just stand up here and grab this piece of paper because I have it written down. Like I keep saying to everybody, I keep trying to warn you, those lower, you cannot just work on the upper chakras, from the root chakra to the crown chakra. It's no longer suffice. We are talking about the state of fear that you're holding on to. What do you think desire is? Desire, lust, it's all something that you want, but yet you're afraid of. It's something that you're trying to get, but yet you don't think you can. It is a fear. It is speaking to you of understanding anger that is created from despair. Damn thing. Anger that is created from despair, confusion, and frustration. These are all the energies that are going on in the lower part of the body, people. It is jealousy, inadequacy, inferiority, helplessness. And where this is connecting with your three-dimensional world and your desire, your lust, which is the promiscurity, is what, because when it came to me, Spirit about knocked me down. My ears were ringing so bad, like my eye was twitching. I was like, okay, I got a point. This is what they're talking about for the next 6 months as these energies make that shift around this eclipse energy, and we're dealing with it in Taurus, a new moon. I'm sorry to say, and I've been saying it for freaking years. What the hell is going on with my shit? Sorry, I'm having issues with my StreamYard tonight. But Taurus is the house ruled by Venus. It is the house that is your money house. It's your self-worth, your self-value house, your self-esteem house. It's your manifestation house. But it works off of you feeling good and comfortable with yourself and in your power. If you don't feel valued and you feel like you're taken advantage of, then this is creating a whole nother manifestation. This is why I've been saying for the last 4 years, if you're not in your power, someone, or yes, something else will be. This is talking about becoming the possession of someone or something else. You've got Jupiter moving in this week. Where is it? Jupiter is moving in this week with Taurus and everybody who's all up in Taurus. Before you have the new moon on the 19th, Jupiter is manifestation, abundance, and higher knowledge. Okay? He's coming into Taurus on the 16th. Then you have the new moon on the 19th. You still have Uranus here, the sun technically. You still have Mercury, which just came out of retrograde. You have the North Node here. Okay. And you have Vista, which is the keys to everything you need to learn in order to move forward. This is talking about, seriously, if you're not in the power and the possession of yourself and starting to realize where you're giving yourself away to that promiscurity, to that lust, that desire, what will you be a hoe for? Where do you sell yourself? Because I need this in my life three-dimensionally. And I've been saying since 2020, and this is talking about relationships. And again, if you're not in power of your own energy, someone or something else will. And this does talk about battered relationships getting worse. Because with Jupiter here, abundance and higher knowledge, it's going to force that shit to come out so that you learn to stand on your own 2 feet. So that you learn to create your own power of yourself. This can be an incredibly powerful energy and wonderful to move us forward. But for those of us who are still in denial, who don't have self-love, who are having problems with self-esteem and self-value, you're about to get a whirlwind thrown at you because they're trying to put you on the right track. Like I said, Spirit's knocking me down with the fact of this is no more sell ourselves short. No more sell for the lust or for the promiscurity. What would you do for a cup of coffee? What would you do to keep that roof over your head in a tight spot? What would you do for a meal in a tight spot? This is talking about how much value do you have in yourself. And we're really going to start hitting hard in the next 6 months, over the next 6 months, until we really go into evaluation for next year to the prolong and what's moving forward. Not to mention, I've been saying since Saturn, I haven't even gotten really into this week yet. This is just what they're throwing at me. You've got that Saturn energy, which is in the 12th house, with Neptune. They're going to both be here for another year and a half. And yeah, another year and a half, getting closer and closer and closer. And this has been, like I was saying, back when Saturn first moved in, that's Amsterdam energy, red light central, is energy of, again, that promiscurity. It's Vegas energy. I can have it all right now, but then it's going to swat me upside my head. The world is not as it seems right now. There's a lot of illusion and delusion. And how much will you truly open your eyes and see through the bullshit? But it can be an incredibly powerful time. It's just saying, don't take any more shit anymore. Stand up, stand in your power, love yourself, and no more. Just no friggin' more. As I get into the blueprint itself, I was talking a little bit about it in that, but as I get into the blueprint itself, Spirit is reminding me about Jupiter in general, because Jupiter is one of those big planets, and when it makes a major shift, it tends to rock people's body. Okay? Jupiter in general speaks to you about your glands, your lymph nodes, and your digestion. It is typically viewed as the gallbladder, the kidneys, and the pancreas. But really what what Jupiter is also, is it eliminates toxins. It deals with circulation. It's also dealing with the right ear and the right eye. Now, when I put it back into the blueprint properly, it is going to be moving in 2 days or day, into Taurus. This is the throat. Anything related to the throat. I'm talking about mouth sores. I'm talking about, understand, just like people who are all into Reiki and all into their chakras and stuff. And, when you get into reflexology, the feet have special pressure points that will connect with every organ in the body. So does your tongue, and so does your teeth. So in a form, your mouth is literally a grand central life force station. Your mouth has a lot to do, your ears, nose, throat has a lot to do with that throat chakra. Your ability to breathe in life and to exhale what's no longer, exhale the energy that's no longer. This is why you have the inhaling energy and the carbon monoxide leaving. This has a lot to do with grand central station of life force energy right now. You're talking about the zeal point. You're talking about the throat chakra. You're talking about hearing and speaking and listening. You're also talking about your mouth, your teeth, your tongue, sores in the mouth. You're talking about lymph nodes around the neck. Jupiter just moved in. You're also talking about that sacral chakra and that root chakra. And where is the balance here, or where is the balance not here? Because Jupiter, when he moves, tends to make people's back hurt. Talking about the kidney area, the lower back, the pancreas area, the gallbladder. Starts to mess with the digestion, making you feel nauseous and having trouble with your stomach. But then he's also moved directly into the throat, amplifying if there's diseases that you could be creating from your own energy of what you're holding on to in the throat, of the mouth, lymph nodes in this area. This is all going to be amplified for the next year. You still have Uranus here. You have Jupiter here. But you also have Mercury at the moment, which is the ability to communicate. And it's in shadow. It just came out of retrograde. So we are looking at the darker aspects. You getting tongue-tied? You have the North Node trying to teach you how to breathe in new life, exhale old life, how to breathe in the spell of the happiness and exhale the spell of the badness. No longer having it part of your life. This is the keys to understanding the central focus point of this energy. It's just as important as the heart chakra. Because if you're not getting any air down through here, through the lungs, then that heart can't keep beating. Like I said, it's also dealing with the fact you have in your teeth and in your tongue, it has those pressure points for every single organ, which connects it with every single chakra. And what are you holding on to? People who have a lot of problems with specific chakras also have lost those teeth often. Or may have extra infections with their tongue or sensitivity. It has a lot to do with when you really get into it, the sweet and sours and so forth of what your tongue possesses and how it's speaking to you about what you need. You have Chiron and Jupiter until Jupiter moved. Chiron is still the only one, and Eris is still, Chiron and Eris is the only ones still in Aries. The wounded healer, and Eris is trouble, toil, strife, and injustice. So this is, kind of like face off. Where can I heal? But where do I have to hold on? Where do I need that vampire syndrome? I'd rather freaking continue to just be mad at this situation, to blame this situation, than to be the big grown up and move on. And this is them reminding me right now from that, I think it's an Amazon commercial, because I always see Eris as Medusa, and there's that Amazon commercial where Medusa, when she looks at everybody, she turns them all to stone. And she got the sunglasses. So according to the commercial, she can look at anybody and they don't turn into stone unless she chooses she wants you to. This is coming back into being in your power, not blaming things. Truly being the creator of your own life. Will you be that healer? Going into the throat chakra, the hearing, the listening, the talking, the breathing of the life change. And then we go into Gemini. Gemini has Juno here. This is sacrifice and commitment. And where is it sitting? In the freaking lungs. The breathing. Slow your roll. Slow your roll. Love yourself. Pamper your truth to yourself. Don't let that exterior world redirect you. Don't let that exterior world change the way you will act, think, speak, actions. Know thyself, slow thy roll. Breathe in this energy. It's important right now. And exhale, which no longer serves you. Juno is the sacrifice and commitment to making the job get done. This is who I always say when people speak about Venus being about love, and I'm like, no. Venus is just sensitivity. Juno is Jupiter's wife. This is the sacrifice and the commitment it takes to making it last, making it work. It's about getting what you truly love and sticking with it. But sacrifice and commitment when it's what is right for you shouldn't be hard. It's the idea of making the change that's hard. When we move into Cancer, which is still here in the chest energy, it's typically going to have a whole lot of that rib cage surrounding the heart, protecting the heart. It is the pulmonary energy as well. It's breathing and spleen. And as Mars moves out and into Leo, it will move into the heart. So this is talking literally about your ability to breathe. This week has everything to do with slow down and breathe in the good, exhale the bad, acknowledge it, slow down. You have Pallas, Lilith, and Mars is moving into the heart. This is fucking warrior central, people. Warrior central in the heart. Mars is your inner SWAT team, your inner warrior. He is the red blood cells. He's also the lust and the aggression. Okay? You've got Pallas, which is Athena, the warrior goddess, and her strategic thinking with Lilith going, could you, maybe love yourself? Have a little bit of self-respect and self-love and go after what you would enjoy in this life instead of what everybody else keeps trying to put off on you? This is coming into power, fire, center. Power, fire, center of the heart. Will you sell it out? Will you sell it out this week? Promiscurity, lust, and as you come through this month, this next 6 months, you have Virgo has Ceres in it, which is literally your liver. And it is speaking to you about your metabolism, your immunity. It is speaking to you about your digestion, detoxifying energy so that you are rebirthing. This is the grounding moment, the grounding foundation of rebuilding the rebirth. This is slow your roll. Don't do it so freaking quick that you trip over it and you find yourself 3 months down the road going, how the hell did I get in this energy? That's that naive. It don't all look like what you think it does right now. Not to mention, like I said, you have the South Node, which is moving out of Sagittarius and moving into Libra in the next couple months, but it's pretty much within 10 degrees of Haumea, which is the collective consciousness, in the cusp of Libra and Scorpio. I mean, Libra and of Sagittarius and but they're coming together is what I'm trying to say. This is getting into your legs energy again. The movement, the collective consciousness, your lower vibrations are what we still have to clean out. Pluto is dealing with the feet, and it's got Jupiter, and it's got it's got Saturn, and it's got Neptune for the next 2 years. This is also asking you to slow down, pay attention to what you're walking yourself into. Remember, your feet are responsible for everywhere you go. Your feet literally are responsible for walking you into every bad situation that you are part of. Why do you think through all different cultures they talk about blessing the feet? They're talking about blessing the feet, forgiving the feet. The feet are dealing with the earth chakra and all of the earth's energies that it has, both positive and negative, as well as what you're bringing into your body, what you're walking yourself into. It is responsible. Why do you think they hurt so easily? We're put so much on this energy. And this is about not being naive about what we are doing with ourselves, our actions, our energy, our bodies. And that's pretty much what I got for you on the blueprint. Now, as I get into this week itself, hold on, I had something else written down over here. The moon itself is going to be going through Aries, then Taurus, then Gemini this week. And let me tell you, it's not just going to be that new moon on the 19th. Like I said, Jupiter's moving in. Mercury just went direct. You still have North Node and Vista over here, Uranus over here. This is like bull in a china shop energy. And then you're going to have the moon, the new moon energy, fistful of righteousness coming out of everyone, even though they may not necessarily be righteous, but that's going to be the energy that's coming in. Well, I am righteous. It's going to be very manipulative, very in your face, very telling you the way the world's going to be, the way you're going to deal with it. And this is going to be showing you, this is going to be showing the ones who manipulate versus the ones who are meek and just take it. Bull in a china shop energy coming in, creating new beginnings. And will you take it or will you be the bull? It's not about being either or, but it is about acknowledging what you will not do anymore and what you will not allow yourself to be spoken to anymore in that way. And coming into self-love, self-respect. Will you claim it? Got a lot going on with that new moon. You're going to be feeling that energy, getting very righteous, very up in its power, very dictative. Because remember, when someone who has been not exploring their boundaries starts exploring the boundaries, the ones who get pissed off are the ones who are losing control over you. The ones who are losing their ability to manipulate and push you around. So there's going to be some push and pull here. It depends on where you're going to take that energy. You have a grand cross this week that's going to tweak on the 17th, right before that new moon. This is when the moon first moves in to that Taurus energy. You've got, and none of this is actually talking to Taurus, but that grand cross, which is like a grand square, this is incredibly challenging energy. I'm starting off with that because you need to know that this week so that it helps you overcome it. Pluto, which is still in retrograde, has got an issue directly across from it in Mars. Mars is in the 4th house until midweek, where it shifts into Leo. Okay, you're coming out of what I kept saying, mama's boy energy. Keep, enabling the situation for love, but it's not really helping the situation. I'm sorry, but I will be one of the first ones to complain about mamas boying their children. I mean, we want to love our children, but at the same time, if you keep trying to fix everything and be the mama, once the kid, you got to let them learn to grow. You can't be their mama at 30 and take them to work. You can't be their mama at 20 and take them to work and fight their battles. They have to learn. It's like I said, throwing the baby out of the nest, and you got to see if you can fly. You don't want to overly nurture it, because then they're never going to create their own inner emotional security. The 4th house is the home. That's what Cancer is. It's the mothering, the nurturing energy. But with Mars being here, this is saying I'm nurturing maybe what I shouldn't, and the lesson needs to be learned. Then it's moving into Leo, fire on fire, where that soul and that heart and that fire is going to spill over with Lilith here, and with Pallas Athena, the warrior goddess here. You've got Pluto, which is in that 11th house, fighting that Cancer and that Leo energy of Mars. Death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, and regeneration. Where are you in that promiscurity? Where are you still selling the situation short? Where are you selling yourself short? Where are you pampering a situation that shouldn't be pampered? Where do you need to stand up? This is the outer world, your groups, your memberships, your committees, the outer society. That alone isn't getting along. Then when we put the actual grand cross and square together, it ain't getting along with the South Node, it ain't getting along with Mars, and it ain't getting along with the North Node. It ain't getting along with anything going on with Taurus. It ain't getting along with anything going on with the South Node. The 8th house as it moves into Sagittarius. With Haumea here, the collective consciousness of where we like our comfort zone, where we keep staying in. Well, that's the way we were taught. That's the only way I know how to be. That's fear. That's lust for something better, but fear of going after it. Speaking it and actually doing it. Breathing in the change. Coming into the power of your own, power of yourself. Freedom, liberation, communication, self-love, self-value, self-esteem. This is part of your manifestation. You cannot manifest if you're in low vibration, a high vibration. If you don't feel good about yourself, you're not going to manifest feeling good about yourself until you start believing it. And you start setting ground rules for it. These are my boundaries. I've decided, just today, I've decided I love me. And that means no more of this. And stick to your guns, because that's what this energy is about. Sticking to your guns and getting to the other side. You can't see if the grass is greener if you never cross. You've also got a chain reaction this week. And I don't always speak of this. Chain reactions are a bunch of combinations. The Spirit pointed it out. It was like, follow the line, Shell, follow the line. You've got Pluto in that 11th house, which is trining the sun in that 2nd house, right before it moves. It is trining your self-worth, illuminating the character of that self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, illuminating what you're manifesting. Are you going to see for yourself who your character is and how much you do or don't value it? Pluto, the outer world, is showing you if, in fact, they value you or not. Do you want to see the truth or not? Then it is telling you, good or bad, what the situation is, going directly over to Venus in a square, showing you the uncomfortability of the truth. Venus is in that 4th house, your inner emotional security. And then that is going over and trining Saturn. Rules, walls, boundaries. Stop being in denial. Stand firm. Do not budge. love yourself, and start anew, because then that will try in the 8th house of making that change and bringing the collective consciousness into the shift. But it's very complicated energies that are making you question. You have Pluto, which now I'm getting into the more positive ones. Pluto is sextiling. Sextiling's energies are very good. The problem with sextiling energies are we're confident that we're feeling confident about it. I got time. I have time. No, you don't. These energies will not last. And this is an opportunity that are being brought to you now. If you don't make it through, it's like a portal. If you don't go through the portal when it's open, when you ain't getting in. Pluto, retrograde, 11th house. Like I said, still in the idea of creating new. Standing in our power, making the changes. Aquarius, groups, memberships, committee, outer world. Is speaking directly with Neptune. What you continue to make of magic, whether it's good or bad. Illusion and delusion. Where you're telling yourself, I say all the time, when with Neptune here and Pisces, this is fantasy meets reality. This is where you can party this weekend and ignore all of your dreams. Ignore all of your problems. It's like Vegas energy. You can go to Vegas, you can go to Amsterdam, you can ignore all of your problems, you can party it away, you can, make your little magical so-so world. But then when you wake up, you still have this world here. This is where we're having to bring the 3-dimensional world into that higher dimension. They're not being separated anymore. You've heard the stories for the last several years. The veil is thinning. Bitch, that veil is gone. This is what we're talking about. In order to continue to create and continue to manifest and to continue to be dimensionally inclined, you've got to realize the veil is gone. You've got to realize that you have to set the groundwork here in this 3-dimensional world and take it with you to all the others. Because here is the physical reality. You could create anything in your physical reality, but you can't have them be separated. This is time for being responsible, setting the groundwork. Like I said, Neptune, 12th house, grief, sorrow, shame, blame, skeletons in the closet, where we're in denial. We keep doing the same thing over and over again, speaking with Pluto, then also speaking directly with the sun. Again, showing you exactly that character of your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem, or where it's not in strong vibration. Then going directly over to Mars, as it is still coming through the cusp of your inner emotional security of the 4th house, the roots of who and what you are, and going into the thriving heart of who you are. This is time to rekindle your own flame, to become that eternal flame. Step into it. But if you miss the point now, I will give you a better example. This is a perfect opportunity. It's a perfect opportunity to set something, groundwork that will go for years and years and years. I was with one of my exes. Sorry, but he was. We were together for like 9 years. Okay. And when we first got together, he had bunnies. Okay. He had little baby bunnies. Now, I loved the bunnies. There was no problem with that. But the point was, as the woman in the house, the rules of what we had was he paid the bills. I kept the house clean. That was fine. But my point was, I'm not cleaning up your bunnies. I'm not cleaning up your bunny cages. Da-da-da-da-da. I knew all I had to do was clean that cage one time. One. And that was going to become my responsibility for as long as we were together. What? This is one of those times. Know exactly when to ground, when to say no, because this is one of those times, as stupid as it sounds, as little as it may seem like it's not a big deal, I was going to be damned if I was going to clean that bunny cage every single week when they were his bunnies. Pay attention. You're showing exactly who you're creating your foundation to be this week. And you're creating it. Acknowledge what you're creating. This is what I mean by the opportunity is here. If you don't seize it properly, you just might be cleaning that cage. You've got Venus, which is sextiling Jupiter and that North Node. All you have to do is be willing to truly hear, listen, and speak your truth. Your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem. Stand in your power, know yourself, but hear the truth that's being said to you. So if you have to make sure somebody else is comprehending this life force breathing communication that is going on with us right now, the change. Venus is the emotional fourth house right now in Cancer. She's very nurturing, but she doesn't just nurture everybody else. She needs to nurture you first. She has to nurture your inner emotional security, the roots of that inner emotional security, so she can create it exteriorly. This is about making sure that we are doing this right now. If not, again, you might be creating somebody else's roots, and you might be cleaning that bunny cage for the next couple of years because you didn't do it. I'm giving you the idea here of making sure you understand where I'm going from this. Now, you've got some other very positive energies. Pluto is getting along great with the sun. Death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, regeneration. This is regeneration time, rebirthing time, showing new tribes how to come together. This is showing new groups and memberships, going after new goals, dreams, and ambitions, illuminating if, in fact, you're part of that right tribe or not. If it's something you want to manifest, what will you be part of? You chose to be part of it. What are you choosing to be part of? Mars is getting along great with Neptune, but it ain't getting along with Lilith or Uranus. So Mars is getting along great with Neptune, but Neptune in Pisces is a little bit of a challenging situation. It's your magic. Grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurity. 12th house. Inner lies. Skeletons in the closet. Comfort zones. It is asking you if you're really in that inner emotional security, in that creativity of exploring everything that makes you want to be part of this life. And are you breathing that into the Neptune? Are you breathing the new change into the Neptune? Because it is going right back to that 5th house of Lilith a little further down, going, I bet you just gave part of yourself away. That promiscurity, where were you being a hoe and selling yourself short? No, no, no. And then that is going right over and fighting with Uranus. Self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. Again, desires, lust, promiscuity. It's not just sex. Well, where will you be a hoe and sell yourself short instead of really growing? You have that Saturn energy is getting along great with the South Node and with Venus. Venus is the sensitivity of that inner emotional security. Saturn is the rules, walls, and boundary, and it's getting along great with the South Node. It's just, will you do it? It's there for you to see, but will you hold on to comfort zone? Comfort zone's not going to be anything for you right now. It never is. That's why it's a comfort zone. But very unpredictable energies. And I always say this way because I don't do it like most astrologers, because I learned my stuff from spirit. Unpredictable means this shit can go any way. It really depends on your free will. You have that South Node and Haumea, the collective consciousness, being aware of the changes that are not being made, being aware of where you're not rebirthing, where you're still breathing the same ideal into your life, where you're breathing the same rules, walls, and boundaries that maybe aren't supporting anything anymore in these relationships that you have. And it's speaking directly with Neptune. Neptune is the spark of your magic. The ability to turn that light switch on and go, oh yes, I'm in the power and I will do so as I see fit. Or I can do it later, and no, really, you can't. Unpredictable energy. Will you make the changes? Saturn is having this very same kind of conversation with Mars and Uranus. Again, Mars is moving in out of Cancer and our emotional security.